This is the story of how a fake Japanese battery trick exposed the single biggest reason your car battery dies early, and what actually works to stop it. You have probably seen the ads by now because they saturate Facebook and YouTube, promising a secret 2-minute method from Japanese engineers that can revive any dead battery. A single click on one of these viral ads drops you into a carefully designed funnel. The landing page greets you with bold claims about a Japanese 2-minute trick that can rescue any dead battery. But before you see any details, there is a gate. Enter your email for a free guide. Once you hand that over, a video sales letter starts rolling. It is long, repetitive, and loaded with testimonials, often from stock photos, about drivers who supposedly saved hundreds of dollars. The timer at the top starts counting down, warning the offer will vanish in minutes, but the page stays live. No matter how many times you reload, scroll down, and the real pitch appears. The so-called Japanese method is locked behind a $47 PDF or online course. Fine print reveals it is a recurring subscription, not a one-time deal. Payment flows through platforms like ClickBank, which splits commissions with a network of affiliates. These marketers run dozens of clone sites, each cycling the same promises and urgency tactics. Scarcity countdowns, fake 5-star reviews, and refund policies buried deep in the terms are all classic red flags. At no point does the site mention a real Japanese company, patent, or engineer. Instead, it is a digital assembly line, churning out the same generic battery reconditioning advice under a borrowed flag of credibility. The funnel's only real innovation is how efficiently it converts curiosity into $47 charges month after month. No matter how convincing the branding or how many 5-star reviews appear on those sales pages, there is one detail the ads never deliver: proof. Not a single patent demonstration or Japanese engineer's name connects this so-called 2-minute method to any real breakthrough. The entire pitch leans on Japan's reputation for technical excellence, a reputation built over a century of real advances in battery chemistry and manufacturing. But borrowed credibility is not the same as evidence. The gap between what is promised and what is actually possible could not be wider. Japan's genuine contributions to battery science are well documented. Companies like GS Yuasa and Furukawa have spent decades developing new materials and designs to slow down the chemical reactions that kill batteries. Their innovations are protected by patents, validated in independent tests, and recognized by awards. None of them claim you can revive a dead battery in 2 minutes with a household trick. Instead, their focus is on prevention, engineering out the root causes of failure before damage sets in. So why do these viral ads work so well? It is simple. They offer hope, not facts. They promise a shortcut that skips over the messy reality of chemistry and aging. But there is no miracle reset button for a worn-out battery. What really matters is understanding how batteries fail, what can be fixed, and what cannot. That is the real science. It determines whether your car starts every morning or leaves you stranded in the cold. Inside every lead-acid car battery, a simple chemical dance powers your daily drive. 2 kinds of lead plates, one plain and one coated with lead dioxide, sit submerged in a bath of sulfuric acid. When you start your engine, both plates react with the acid, forming lead sulfate crystals and releasing electricity. Charging reverses this, breaking down the crystals and restoring the acid's strength. But here's where things get tricky. Not all those crystals behave the same way. If your battery is regularly recharged to full, most of the lead sulfate stays soft and dissolves easily. Miss a few full charges, maybe because of short trips or long periods parked, and those crystals start to harden. Sulfation is the most common silent killer of car batteries. According to engineers in the Battery Council International, sulfation is responsible for about 50 to 60% of all failures, not the 80 or 85% you will hear from miracle product ads. That leaves plenty of room for other problems too. Sulfation comes in 2 flavors, soft and hard. Soft sulfation is like a chalky film that wipes away with a good long charge. Hard sulfation is more like concrete, thick, stubborn crystals that block the battery's plates and choke off power for good. Once hard sulfation sets in, no amount of charging or quick-fix additive can bring the battery back to life. Heat and partial charging speed up the process, turning a healthy battery into a doorstop in a matter of months, especially in hot climates or with lots of city driving. And sulfation is just one of nearly 30 ways a car battery can fail. The Battery Council International catalogs 29 different failure modes, from grid corrosion and plate shedding to electrolyte stratification and short circuits. Each mode chips away at performance in its own way, but sulfation stands out for how quietly and quickly it can turn a reliable battery into a dead one. That is why real battery science focuses on prevention, not 2-minute miracles. Fred Waymeyer spent more than 50 years as a battery engineer, running field tests for one of America's largest manufacturers. When it comes to miracle cures, his verdict is blunt. Epsom salt and aspirin do not restore dead batteries, they just fool the numbers. Pouring Epsom salt into a cell raises the specific gravity, making a hydrometer read healthier, but it does nothing to increase the actual sulfuric acid your battery needs. Aspirin, meanwhile, breaks down into acetic acid, which attacks the positive plates and shortens lifespan. In Waymeyer's words, these tricks deliver zero sulfuric acid, no real recovery. Pulse desulfators are the next big promise. These devices send high-frequency electrical pulses through the battery, claiming to break up hardened sulfate crystals. In a 2021 study, engineers tested 4 sealed gel batteries over 10 weeks. 2 batteries regained 75 to 89% of their lost capacity. The other 2 improved by less than 2%, hardly a miracle. In a marine test, pulse devices bumped up cold cranking amps by just 5% after a month. Manufacturers warn that these pulses can actually speed up grid corrosion and cause soft shorts, quietly damaging the battery from within. Chemical additives round out the list. Bottles marketed as sulfation dissolvers promise to reverse years of neglect. But independent tests and manufacturer advisories agree. The results are inconsistent at best, and sometimes make things worse. Forums like Bob is the Oil Guy call these schemes electrical snake oil, with veteran testers saying no scheme has worked since the 1970s. The evidence is clear. Whether it is salt, a pulse, or a secret additive, quick fixes rarely deliver on their promises. When batteries fail, the damage is usually permanent. Real solutions start long before the first click of a dead starter. Japan's story in battery science starts long before viral ads borrowed its name. In 1895, Genzo Shimizu Jr. built the country's first lead-acid battery in Kyoto, laying the foundations for a homegrown industry. By 1917, Japan's storage battery, now GS Yuasa, was founded, followed by Yuasa a year later. These companies did not chase miracle fixes. They focused on making batteries last longer through better materials and smarter engineering. Fast forward to 1985 when Akira Yoshino developed the prototype for the world's first safe lithium-ion battery at Asahi Kasei, technology that would power everything from smartphones to electric cars. His work earned a share of the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2019. Today, Japanese firms hold about 36% of all global solid-state battery patents, with Toyota alone filing over 1,000. This is not about shortcuts, it is about a century of steady progress, engineering problems out of batteries before they start. Prevention isn't flashy, but it's where real battery life gains happen. Japanese companies like GS Yuasa and Furukawa have built batteries that can handle thousands of partial charges without breaking down. GS Yuasa's nano-carbon models, for example, can reach up to 5,000 cycles at 70% depth of discharge, far more than a standard battery. Furukawa's Ultra battery combines lead-acid chemistry with a supercapacitor, nearly doubling cycle life and resisting sulfation even in city driving. For everyday drivers, habits matter just as much as the hardware. Use a smart maintainer if your car sits for weeks. Take it for a 20-minute highway drive every so often to ensure a full charge. Clean the terminals, check the mount, and test annually after year 3. The math is simple. A new battery costs $150 to $450. While chasing do-it-yourself, reconditioning often burns time and money for uncertain results. The best defense is smart maintenance and proven design, not miracle cures. Right now, battery ads promise shortcuts your car science cannot deliver. Real longevity comes from steady habits and proven engineering, not miracle fixes. Your best defense is prevention, not clickbait. The truth is not glamorous, but it lasts. Share your battery stories below and subscribe for more car care daily myth busting.